what city is the site of the worst gig you ever played?
We've never had one of those.
I did.
Occasionally, yeah, he does have bad ones, but I never do. And yeah, like seriously, never happened.
No disasters yet.
Didn't you guys have a show where the electricity went out?
Yeah, but that was like the best part.
And everybody started singing
We
along.
Warped Tour like 3 years ago, and then yeah, the power went out, so we just finished the song. It was like Head First for Halos, I think. We just finished it, so it's cool.
My Chemical Romance is here. Breakfast with on the Kevin and Bean Show on the world famous KROQ. Who wants to hear a little song called Teenagers?
Troubled and hurt, what you got under your shirt will make them pay for the thing that they said. Oh, teenagers scared, let the out of me. We can care less as long as someone will bleed. So talk in your clothes, I'll strike a violent pose. Maybe leave it alone, but not me. Oh, yeah.
Breakfast with My Chemical Romance. We'll take a quick break and come right back on KROQ.
KROQ, it's Kevin and Beans. Breakfast. You be like a big breakfast machine with My Chemical Romance.
This is the Kevin and Bean Show on 106.7 KROQ. Breakfast with My Chemical Romance. All right, who's having the best time they've ever had in their life? What's it like to write those words in your room or wherever you're writing them, and then to see
Parents' basement?
Your parents' basement, maybe that's the case. And then, like on a morning like this morning, you've got a dozen people in the front row who are 3 feet from you screaming the words back to you in your face. What's that like?
That's one of the best parts. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. So, yeah, there's not a lot of things you could use as a metaphor to describe that. It's just something that feels amazing inside. So.
And when you go to foreign countries, they sing back to you in
Same
English.
words.
Same words.
It's amazing.
Do they know what they mean?
I think so.
Okay.
Lightning is in the audience in the super secret location. By the way, one of the smallest Breakfast with shows we've ever done. A very exclusive audience here this morning, probably less than 100 people or so. And Lightning, you got one of them. Who's with you?
We've got Andrew from Burbank.
Hey guys, I'm in a band that's heavily influenced by you guys' music.
Awesome.
So I wanted to know if you guys have any advice for up-and-coming bands.
Totally. We have, we have this thing we always talk about, and it's really simple. You You play the music that you want to hear because you made it so you could hear it yourself. You get in a van. You never go home. And you do it because you love it. You stay honest. You stay sincere. Never do it for the money. And you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. So
Look at that. You make it sound so simple.
man, it is.
The simpler version is play from the heart and never be full of shit.
Basically.
What
That's the
happens?
simple
What happens to the 99% of the bands that try to make it and don't? Are they violating one of those basic principles?
No,
Are they
not
doing it for the wrong reason?
necessarily.
Or?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I mean the ones that try to do it like you've described and still don't make it.
I think they all make it in some way. Like bands that simply get in a van and tour forever. Like there's lots of stories about bands that have been around for sometimes. Like a band like Pulp in England's been around 17 years before they got big, and they just kept doing it.
No Doubt is another perfect
No
example.
doubt.
They
Yeah,
just
exactly.
kept doing it till it worked.
I read several interviews that you were a big fan of Bruce Dickinson.
I was.
Iron
I
Maiden.
still
Still
am.
am?
Yeah.
What was that like for you, looking at him and saying, I want to do that?
I'm gonna have to do a lot of push-ups. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That guy's amazing. Like
Yeah.
he flies all over the stage still, and he's in his 50s, I think, right?
Is that what captured your attention as to want to be a lead singer?
When I was a kid, me and Mikey used to listen to Live After Death all the time, which is like one of the greatest live albums ever recorded. And
Iron Maiden.
yeah, Iron Maiden. It starts off with a Winston Churchill speech, and then they launch right into Aces High, which is about World War II, and it's phenomenal. And that was one of the first, I guess, audio experiences that made me want to be in a band, and then visual came later. But they were it.
Your parents probably weren't crazy about the Iron Maiden records in the house. Most parents aren't.
Well, they were. Remember the PMRC?
No kidding.
They weren't a part of that, but thank God. But when I was a kid, that was huge.
Right.
PMRC was giant.
For folks who don't know,
Yeah.
that was the movement that led to records being labeled for obscenity and explicit language and that sort of thing. They didn't say you couldn't make them. They just said you had to label them. That's what it was.
So
Right, Tipper Gore.
yeah. So then she was the head one, and
Right.
my parents kind of watched TV and bought into that a little bit, and so they made it a little hard for me to get stuff like Slayer records, but they were pretty cool with Iron Maiden. So.
Speaking about your family, I read that of course your grandmother
Yeah.
inspired your creativity in a way that no one else in your family kind of was able to do. How did she do that?
Because she herself was such an amazing artist. She was a sculptor, a painter. She could play the piano. She could sing. She was an amazing woman. And she kind of saw that I had an interest in that kind of thing and just not forced me, but just kind of fostered that creativity.
Just gave you encouragement?
Yeah. She made me do it. And she's the one that made me play Peter Pan in the play. So.
We have her to thank for that.
That's the first applause for Peter Pan in maybe 40 years. I mean, really, that's quite a moment. All right, one more question, and then we'll hear another live song from the band My Chemical Romance. It's Kevin and Beach on KROQ. Lightning is in the crowd with whom?
We've got Paul from Placentia. I understand you have a comic book coming out soon. I was wondering if you could tell us about it.
It's really actually very hard to describe in a sentence. I guess it's a closet space alien, adopts 7 extraordinary maladjusted children, raises them really bad, and then dies of a heart attack. So it's a lot of fun, It's just been an amazing experience.
When does it come out?
September 19th.
You started out as an intern at
DC Comics.
DC Comics, right?
I did.
You were just copying?
I was a photocopy boy. Yeah.
Nice. And you just read everything and learned to love it while you were doing it.
Yeah, and it was really helpful to, every kind of art you do is really relative, and it was really helpful to photocopy all this stuff and see the stuff up close.
Right.
And it helped me become a better visual artist. So.
How long was it until you started thinking, I want to write my own?
We always try to start bands and stuff. We never really had a band, but it was right after 9/11, just as the story is,
Right.
That was the moment where I kind of turned my back on wanting to do art, and we started the band together.
All right, let me ask before we hear another song here, guys. From the other guys in the band, you have to tell Gerard that the comic book's good, but what do you really think? He's not here. He's not listening. What do you guys really think?
It's good.
All right. Breakfast with My Chemical Romance. MCR, everybody stand up. Here's another live number for you on KROQ.